Yo, what's going on YouTube? In today's video, we will be going over the best build for Marksmanship Hunter in Season 4 of Dragonflight for PvP. We will be going over the Hunter talents, the PvP talents, the Marksmanship talent, the stats, the gems, the tier set, the enchants, the basic rotation. So enough of that, let's get right into the video. Alrighty, so first we're going to start off with the Hunter talents. We're not going to go over every single talent, we're just going to go over the main ones and we'll go from there. Start off with Counter Shot. So interrupt spellcasting, preventing any spell in the school from being cast for 3 seconds. This is a must. You want to lock out people. You want to be kicking off cooldown as much as possible. And this is a must, right? Then going to grab Survival of the Fittest. It says a 3-minute cooldown. Reduces all damage you and your pet take for 40% for 6 seconds. And then to buff that, you're going to grab Nature's Endurance. Survival of the Fittest reduces damage taken by an additional 20%. Then you're going to come over here and take Intimidation. You want that stun, that 5-second stun. You never really want to grab High Explosive Trap. It's useless in high-end PvP, so you don't want that at all. You obviously want Intimidation for that 5-second stun. Then you want Scatter Shot. So you daze your enemy for 4 seconds. Obviously, it breaks off when you damage them, but this is really good for taking someone out of the fight or hitting the healer into a trap or one or the other. You can also run Biting Shot. Biting Shot's also good if you're running double melee and the person you're running with doesn't have like an AoE stun like Shockwave or a DH AoE stun. So this is good. Biting Shot's also really good to run, but more often than not you can run Scatter Shot, but you just switch depending on what you're playing against. Especially double melee, I would go Biting Shot. Then you're going to come over here and grab Roar of Sack. Instructs your pet to protect your friendly target from critical strikes for 12 seconds, but 10% of all damage taken by your target is also taken by the pet. So this, if you put this on yourself or on your teammate, they can't be crit for 12 seconds. It can't be dispelled, nothing like that. But your pet takes 10% of that damage, so you want to make sure you're healing your pet with a Mend Pet. And grab 1 point into Serrated Shots. Serpent Sting and Bleed damage increased by 10%. This value is increased to 20% against targets below 30% health. This works well with Serpent Sting and Master Marksman and also Razor Fragments. So then we're going to come over here and grab Death Chakrams. This is a must. You get a 10% damage buff from you and your pet, lasting 10 seconds. Each time Chakram deals damage, its damage is increased by 15%, and you generate 3 focus. This is a must. Then you want Explosive Shot. So this is a 30-second cooldown, fires an explosive shot. After 3 seconds, the shot will explode, dealing 94,000 damage, and deals reduced damage beyond 5 targets. This is a must. This is especially good against double melee in arena or solo shuffle. And then you're gonna come over here and grab Serpent Sting, and then you want late poison injection, which is latent poison. So Serpent Sting's damage applies latent poison to the target, stacking up to 10 times. Aim Shot consumes all stacks of latent poison, dealing 5,000 nature damage to target per stack consumed. So it has a maximum of 10 stacks. So you want to try to be using your Aim Shot to blow up all 10 stacks at once. Obviously, it's not always, you can always have 10 stacks, but because you're always casting Aim Shot as a Marksmanship hunter, but this is the talent you want to be running right now. Now to the Marksmanship talents. Obviously you want Rapid Fire. This is your main ability as a Marksman hunter besides Aim Shot. So you want this. Then you're going to come over here and grab Surging Shots. Rapid Fire deals a 35% additional damage, and Aim Shot has a 15% chance to reset the cooldown of Rapid Fire. This is a must talent as well. Then you come over here and grab 2 points into Killer Accuracy for that 20% crit strike chance on your kill shot. Come over here and grab Tactical Reload for Aim Shot and Rapid Fire cooldown reduced by 10%. We're going to come over here and grab Volley. We're grabbing Volley for the trick shot, but mostly we're grabbing Volley so we can grab obviously our main burst, True Shot. And then after True Shot, you're going to grab Eagle Talent's True Focus. True Shot lasts an additional 3 seconds, reduces the focus cost of Arcane Shot, Chimera Shot, and Multi-Shot by 25%, and reduces the focus cost of Aim Shot by 25%. We want this talent, 2 points in this talent, to that 3 additional seconds on True Shot, but also that reduction on Arcane Shot and Aim Shot is a really big W. Then you're going to grab Unerring Vision. While True Shot is active, you gain 1% critical strike chance and 2% increased critical damage dealt every 1 second, stacking up to 10 times. This is really good for your burst window. And then for your other talent, main talent is going to be Salvo. Your next multi-shot or volley now also applies Explosive Shot up to 2 targets hit. So this is Volley and Salvo work really well together. So you have like a 45-second go when you don't have True Shot. So you have Salvo, Death Chakrams, Explosive Shots, and Volley. So that's kind of like your 45-second go. to try to get some cooldowns from the enemy team and to keep that consistent pressure alive, right? There's also another build you can run right now that's really good. And I would say you could run this build versus a more caster lobby. I think this would benefit you more. I think this build right here is the best overall, but I think against double melee, it is absolutely a must run. But let's say you're playing against a Shadow Priest and a Destro Lock. I think you're gonna remove these talents right here. You're gonna grab Bullseye, 2 points into Legacy of the Windrunner. You can get rid of, let's get rid of Tactical Reload and 1 point into Windrunner's Guidance. This is going to be a really good caster build. You can also get rid of Bursting Shot, but I feel like Bursting Shot's a really good utility, especially against melee. But also it helps, like, if you want to shoot the Bursting Shot the healer, it puts a slow on them and you can knock them behind a pillar, or maybe knock a DPS. If you missed a trap, you can knock a DPS into a trap. But if you don't want to run Bursting Shot, you can also run Tactical Reload. But this build right here with Salvo is going to be the best possible build, I think, in my opinion. This build right here. All right, so let's move on to the PvP talents. Survival Tactics. This is a must. You run this talent every single game. Feign Death reduces damage taken by 90% for 3 seconds. Your Feign Death has a 30-second cooldown. This is a must-run talent no matter what. Sniper Shot. Sniper Shot is really good right now for marksmanship hunters. Sniper stance, firing a well-aimed shot, dealing 20% of the target's maximum health, and you also gain 40% additional range for 6 seconds. So this is really good for playing that max distance range. If you catch someone without a trinket in a stun and the healer CC'd, a big Sniper Shot is going to go a long way in solo shove and 3s and 2s. The Sniper Shot is a huge W. Another talent I would think you should run, especially against double melee, is Diamond Ice. Victims of Freezing Trap can no longer be damaged or healed. Freezing Trap is now undispellable, but has a 5-second duration. So it's 1 second less than a normal trap, but it cannot be dispelled and it doesn't break off cleave damage. So I think this is a must against double melee. So let's say you're not facing double melee, you're facing double casters like Destro, Shadow Priest. I would say run Interlope. So you come over here, take 1 point out of Natural Mending and grab Misdirection. So Interlope, Misdirection now causes the next 3 hostile spells you cast on a target within 10 seconds to be redirected to your pet, but its cooldown is increased by 15 seconds. So this is for like Chaos Bolts and stuff like that. It's really good against casters. I would say be running that against like Shadow Priests, Demo Locks, Destro Locks, stuff like that. So, but otherwise, you can also run True Shot Mastery. If you don't want to run Diamond Ice, like you said, your trap can be break and it can be dispelled. If you're not using your trap on the healer, it'll just get dispelled insta. So I wouldn't recommend it, but you can, if you want more damage and less cooldown on your True Shot, you can run True Shot's Mastery. It reduces the cooldown by 20 seconds. And then another talent you can also run is Tranquilizing Darts. This is good against Resto Druids. Interrupting or removing effects with Tranquilizing Shot and Counter Shot releases 8 darts at nearby enemies, each reducing the duration of beneficial magic by 4 seconds. So kicking someone and using your Trank Dart ability will shoot out 8 darts at nearby enemies, and it takes away magical effects or reduces them by 4 seconds. So say there's 4 seconds left on the magic effect, it will just take it off completely. So this is really good against Resto Druids. Otherwise, I would not run this unless it's a Resto Druid. And the last talent you should run in some cases is Chimeral Sting for that silence. You can use a focus macro and maybe silence the healer, and if they're not paying attention to their debuffs, they'll get silenced, and because it can be dispelled, but if they're not paying attention, they won't dispel it and they'll get silenced. So, but I think these are the 3 main talents right here: Survival Tactics, Sniper Shot, and Diamond Ice are going to be what you're running in the majority of your solo shove 2s and 3s games. Let's move on to the gear and crafted gear. All right, so for the gear, you're gonna want to run 4 set, the tier set for sure. I have 3 set already. Next week, which is week 3, you'll be able to get 4 sets. Everybody will be able to have 4 set. 2 set for Marksman Hunter. Rapid Fire deals 20% additional damage. Trick Shot causes Rapid Fire to launch volley for 6 seconds, dealing 100% of normal damage. This is reduced to 50% in PvP, so it's 10% additional damage, but this is a must run. And then for your 4 set, every 10 focus you spend has a 3% chance to reset the cooldown of Rapid Fire and cause your next Rapid Fire to shoot 100% additional shots during the channel. This is obviously all reduced in PvP as well. So they're going to be running 4-set, and week 3 is the fastest you can do that, which is Tuesday, May 7th. For your head, you got your crafted head. Your neck, you're going to want to craft the neck, but obviously you can't do that as soon as right now. You're going to want to be crafting your embellishment gear first. So you can't do the crafted neck and do specific stats. The stats you're going to want to go for your neck is going to be verse mass. And then you have your shoulder, obviously, is your tier piece. Then your back, you want verse mass as well. Chest is your tier piece. Then your wrist, you want verse mass as well again. And then your bow, you want verse mass. But also, with the new awakening raids and stuff, that gear can be that what you buy with bullions, the 2 bullions you can buy gear with, and you get that from PvEing. That gear can be upgraded to 528, and if it's a legendary, 535. And the highest item level in PvP right now is 528. This bow right here, I bought it. It's with my 2 bullions. Nelthorax, Enemy of the Sky. This is a bow you would want to run when it's fully upgraded to 528. Obviously, you need to do high rated PvP or high mythics and high raids to get the amount of crest to upgrade this to 528. But I lucked out and I volted my weapon, my conquest weapon. So it's verse mass is what you want, and it's 528. So that was it was my first volt, and I volted both weapons. So that was major. But if you can get this upgraded, this weapon right here, it's crit haste, which isn't the greatest stats for you as a marksmanship hunter, but is what you want. Is the auto attacking an enemy grants you 10% increased auto attack damage, stacking up 5 times. This bonus resets upon auto attacking a different target. So once you get this to 528, you'll want to run this. But if you volt your weapon, obviously you can use your conquest weapon, or if not, and they're both not either upgraded, or you did not volt your weapon, you can be using the upgraded bloody token weapon, which you can have now because it's week 2, and you could have had 14 stripes and bought your 525 bloody token weapon. All right, moving on to the hands. The hands will be my 4-set. I think it's crit verse, so that's gonna be my 4-set. Waist, you want verse mass, but you can't really do that right now unless you craft something, and you don't want to craft a waist this early because you want to craft your embellishment gear first. So right now I have the upgraded bloody token gear, which is 525. So I have the 2-set. It's haste verse. Your pants, you want verse mass, and it's going to be your crafted gear. You're going to do the flame touch, and you're going to craft it with verse mastery, and you're going to craft it with a toxified patch. And the reason you're crafting this with a toxified patch embellishment is so for your boots. So for your second piece, or your first piece technically, is what you want to, this is what you want to get first, is your venom step stompers. So toxins course through you occasionally, triggering potent venom. While affected by potent venom, you lose 460 of your lowest secondary stat and gain 1,151 of your highest secondary stat for 10 seconds. You always get verse. This effect's increased by 100% if you equip an item crafted with toxified armor patch. Like I said, that's what you're gonna do with your legs. You're gonna get that flame touch, and you're gonna craft it with a toxified patch, so it increases your boots by 100%. And those are gonna be your 2 embellishment crafted gear for marksmanship hunter in season 4. Then your rings, you want both verse mass, but this early you can't really get that, so you got verse mass and haste verse. And this is the trinket you're gonna be running if you're a non-human. You also run it if you're a human, but you also don't have to run a trinket when you're a human. So you want that for your spells and abilities have a chance to grant you 2,000 primary stat for 20 seconds. And obviously, if you're not a human, you need to run the medallion so you can get out of stuns. But if not, you can also run the badge of ferocity if you're a human. So you can run this badge right here and this one if you're a human. And if not, if you're anything but a human, you run this and your medallion. Okay, that's going to do it for the gear and craft gear. Let's move on to stat priority. Obviously, as a marksman hunter, your main stat is agility. Agility and stamina is what all your gear is going to have. But for your secondary stats or your enhancement, you're going to want to start with verse, then mastery, then haste, then crit. Crit is going to be the last stat you're going to care about. And then mastery and haste, you want to try to get beyond 40% later on in the season, but that's when you can do crafted gear and having most of, so you're gonna be like crafting your neck, you can craft your wrist, craft both rings, craft your belt, and you can be prioritizing which stats you want. But most of the you're gonna be looking for verse mastery. That is the 2 main stats that you're gonna be shooting for as a marksmanship hunter in season 4 of Dragonflight. All right, now we're gonna go over the gems and enchantments for season 4 for marksmanship hunter and PvP. So for your neck, to get 3 slots in your neck, you need to grab 3 tiered medallion settings. You can grab that at the AAH. I'll have that up on here on the screen, what it looks like. And then for your gems, you're going to be running 3 gems on your neck. You're going to be running the Zen Nethalrite, which gives you mastery and verse. You're going to run 3 of those. Then for your back, you're going to be running homebound speed, which increases your movement speed. And then for your chest, you can run accelerated agility or awakened stats. Accelerated agility is better because it increases your movement speed, so you should go with that. But you can also use waking stats if you prefer. Then for your wrist, you're going to run devotion of speed, which gives you 200 speed on your wrist. For your bow, you're going to grab high intensity thermal scanner, which has a chance to proc a secondary stat. So this is a huge thing for you as a marksman hunter. Then for your belt, you're going to run shadow clasp, which increases your stamina on your belt and gives you more stamina. So that's a must. It's kind of expensive usually on realms. It's kind of like 12K. So I would put it on like a upgraded bloody version or a conquest piece. I wouldn't put it on an honor piece. So I don't have it right now. I need to buy it because this is a bloody token piece. For your leg, you're gonna run fierce armor kit, and make sure you see how there's 3 stars on these enchants. Make sure you're buying the max enchant and gem. You don't want to be buying the lower version. You want to buy the best version of it. So when they have those 3 gold stars, or like kind of 3 diamonds, that's the one you want to be buying. And then for your boots, you're going to run plain runner's breeze. And then for your rings, you can run devotion of mastery or devotion of haste. I prefer to run mastery, but you can run either or. If you feel like your haste is too low or your mastery is too low, you can pick between those 2, but I'd run devotion of haste or devotion of mastery. That's going to do it for the gems and enchants. Now we're going to move on to the basic rotation. Here's going to be the basic rotation for a marksmanship hunter in season 4 of Dragonflight. So down here I have an add-on that's going to show you what I'm pressing at what time I'm pressing. So we're just going to get 10 stacks of latent poison. Just say you have 10 stacks on this person. Okay, just say you have 10 stacks. All right, we're going to say we're coming out of invis. So you're going to be sniper shotting. You're going to death chakrams, explosive shot, salvo, volley, into true shot, spam aim shot, into rapid fire, aim shot again, arcane, rapid fire reset. So let's rapid fire, use kill shot, procs, aim shot, kill shot, proc again, rapid fire, aim shot, rapid fire. So that's basically the simple rotation. So you want to be trying to get as many stacks of latent poison as possible, but obviously that's not always the case. You want to be throwing Serpent Sting on as many targets as possible, so they're building up that latent poison stack. And each time it ticks, it resets the cooldown of the latent poison stack, and it stacks up 10 times. And then see, you have this 45-second go with salvo, volley, into death chakrams, into explosive shot, right? So that's going to be like your 45-second go when you do not have true shot. So that's going to be the basic rotation. Oh, and make sure you have your mark on your target that you're choosing to attack, because Hunter's Mark increases all damage dealt to targets above 80% health by 5%. So you want to be reapplying this mark in PvP. It's like a 25-second duration on a target. So you want to make sure you're reapplying this. Make sure you're applying your slow off cooldown concussive shot, which reduces speed by 50% for 6 seconds. Make sure you're keeping up your Serpent Sting, and you're just doing that over and over again and kiting and CCing the enemies as much as possible. All right, so that's going to be the basic rotation for Marksmanship Hunter in Season 4 of Dragonflight. Alrighty, that's going to do it for us. We went over a lot of stuff. I will have everything tagged so you can see if you want to skip to a certain part in the video. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you liked the video, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. And I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.